Hey everyone, and welcome to your deep dive. All right, so today we're tackling financial freedom with The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, when they hear that title,
Mm-hmm.
they might think, simple. Is money management ever really simple?
Right.
But I think that's part of the appeal of this book, right? It just breaks things down in a way that's really accessible.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things that makes Colin's approach so refreshing is it's really rooted in his own experiences.
Yeah.
You know, the advice he gave to his daughter, so it feels very personal.
Yeah.
Less like a textbook and more like you're having a conversation with a wise friend or a mentor.
Totally. Okay, so one thing that I noticed in pretty much every review I read of this book
Yeah.
is this concept of FU money,
Yeah.
which sounds a little bit rebellious.
It does, yeah.
But what does that even mean?
Right.
Is it just about becoming a millionaire so you can just like walk out of your job dramatically?
Right. Well, not necessarily. I mean, it's not just about being rich. It's more about having that financial security to make choices without feeling trapped.
Okay.
You know? So think about it like this. If you're in a job and your boss asks you to do something unethical or something that just goes against your values, having FU money gives you that power to say no.
Yeah.
Without that worry, you know, how am I going to pay my bills? It's about freedom, peace of mind.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, how do we actually get to that point? He lays out a simple path.
He does.
But is it really that simple?
Well, Collins boils it down to 3 core principles, and it sounds simple when you say it like this.
Okay.
Spend less than you earn, avoid debt like the plague,
All right.
and invest the difference wisely.
Okay.
So that might sound pretty straightforward at first glance.
Yeah.
But, you know, putting it into practice takes a lot of discipline and a willingness to delay gratification.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to say spend less than you earn.
Right.
But like, how do we actually do that? How do we make that happen?
Well, you know, it all starts with being mindful of your spending habits.
Yeah.
You know, where does your money actually go each month? A lot of people don't even know. If you actually track your expenses even for just a month, it can be so eye-opening. You might be surprised at how much you're spending on things that you don't even really need or value.
I know. I was shocked when I first did that. Like, all those little coffees and takeout lunches really add up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They really do. And once you have a clear picture of where your money's going, you can start making conscious choices about your spending.
Right.
You know, maybe pack your lunch a few times a week instead of buying it.
Yeah.
Find some free activities to do instead of going out and spending a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Little changes like that can make a huge difference over time.
I liked it. Okay, so we talked about spending less than we earn. What about the debt piece of this?
Yes.
Because Collins is very serious about avoiding debt.
He is very serious about it, and for good reason.
Yeah.
You know, debt can feel like this huge weight holding you back.
Totally.
Especially high interest debt like credit cards.
Yeah.
It can make it so hard to get ahead financially because those interest payments are just eating away at your income month after month.
So how do we tackle debt? What's the best way?
If you've got high interest debt, you want to focus on paying that down as quickly as possible.
Okay.
There are a couple different strategies out there. The snowball method,
Yep.
which is where you pay off your smallest debts first just to gain some momentum
Yeah.
and kind of feel like you're making progress. And then there's the avalanche method,
Okay.
where you target your highest interest debts first to save money on those interest charges.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So figure out which one works best for you.
Yeah. Find what works best for you. Make a plan to chip away at that debt until it's gone.
Awesome. All right. So debt's out of the picture.
Mhm.
We're spending less than we earn.
Right.
So now we have this extra cash each month.
Yes.
What do we do with it? Investing.
That's where the investing comes in. And this is where Collins really shines because he believes that everyone, regardless of income,
Yeah.
can and should invest. And he puts a big emphasis on the power of compounding,
Okay.
which is almost like this magical snowball effect for your money.
Okay.
So you invest a small amount, over time it earns interest, and then that interest earns more interest.
Okay.
It just keeps building on itself.
That's awesome. But I got to admit,
Yeah,
investing is kind of intimidating to me,
I get it.
especially like the stock market.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way.
Just seems really complicated.
Yeah, and Collins understands that he breaks things down into easy to understand concepts, and he's a big fan of something index funds.
Oh,
Have you heard of those before?
I've heard of them, but I don't really know what they are.
Okay, so think of an index fund, like a basket of stocks that represents a whole market, like the S&P 500, for example.
Okay.
So instead of trying to pick individual stocks, which can be very risky,
Mm-hmm.
you're investing in this whole basket of stocks and letting the market do its thing.
So I don't have to try to be like a stock picking expert. I
Exactly.
can just invest in this basket and like ride the wave.
Exactly. And because index funds are passively managed, so they're just tracking the market, they typically have really low fees.
Okay.
Which is awesome because lower fees mean more money in your pocket over the long run.
That makes sense.
Right?
Okay, so I'm starting to get the picture here.
Yeah.
Spend less than we earn, say goodbye to debt,
Yeah.
invest in these index funds,
Yeah.
take advantage of that compounding magic. This simple path is starting to make sense.
Yeah, it is simple,
Yeah.
but it's not always easy.
Right.
It takes discipline, consistency, but the rewards are so worth it.
Yeah.
Remember that freedom and peace of mind we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
That's what this path can lead to. And here's the best part. You don't have to be a financial expert to make it work.
I love that. Okay, so if you are feeling inspired and you want to dig into the simple path to wealth yourself, we have a link to the book down in the description.
Awesome resource for anyone who wants to take control of their finances and build a brighter future.
Totally. And we'll be right back to dive even deeper into some of the key concepts from this book, so stay tuned.
All right, so welcome back to the deep dive. I hope you're ready for more simple path to wealth wisdom.
I'm ready. Let's do it. Okay. So that last part we talked about, spending less, ditching debt, and the magic of investing in index funds.
Yeah.
It all sounds great in theory, but I think there's this mental hurdle that a lot of people have to overcome, myself included,
Absolutely.
to believe that you can actually achieve financial freedom.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. That's one of the things I really appreciate about Colin's approach is he doesn't just focus on those like nuts and bolts of personal finance.
Yeah.
He really digs into the psychology of money and how our mindset can really help or hinder us on this journey.
Yeah, like it's almost like we have to get our head in the game first.
Yeah, you got to believe it before you can achieve it.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so what are some of those mental roadblocks we need to overcome?
Yeah.
Because I know for me, it's easy to fall into those traps of thinking like, oh, I'll never be able to save enough.
Right.
Or investing is just way too complicated for me.
Yeah, those are common ones, and Collins addresses those head on.
Okay. Yeah.
One of the big myths he debunks is that you need to be rich to invest.
Okay.
Not true at all.
Yeah.
You can start small, even with just a few dollars a week. The important thing is to start early and be consistent.
It's like that saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
Exactly.
Okay.
And another myth he busts is the idea that you need to be like a financial whiz to invest successfully.
Okay.
He really emphasizes that with these index funds, you don't need to be picking stocks or trying to time the market.
Okay.
You're basically betting on the overall growth of the economy,
Okay.
which historically has trended upward over the long term.
That's good to hear. It makes investing feel less like gambling and more like a legitimate strategy.
Exactly. It's a long-term strategy for building wealth.
Awesome. Okay, so that's reassuring. And I guess that kind of ties into another big mindset shift that Collins emphasizes, right? Which is patience.
Absolutely.
We live in this world of instant gratification.
Yeah, everything's going to happen right now.
Right, but investing is all about playing the long game.
Yeah, it is. It's a long game. Think of it like planting a seed and watching it grow over time.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
But how do we actually stay patient when the market is going up and down like it always does,
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in those short-term fluctuations.
Yeah, it is. It's easy to panic.
Yeah, and make emotional decisions.
Absolutely. Collins has some great advice for this.
Okay.
He talks about the importance of having a margin of safety in your financial plan.
Okay, what does that mean, margin of safety?
So it's like having a buffer, a little extra cushion to protect you from those market storms.
Okay, so like being prepared for the unexpected. Kind of like having an emergency fund, but on a larger scale.
Exactly. Life throws curveballs, Things happen, and having that margin of safety can really help you weather those storms without completely derailing your progress.
It makes a lot of sense. And I think that's where the mental piece comes in, because it's like that margin of safety almost gives you permission to stay calm,
Right.
to not panic
Absolutely.
when the market takes a dip, because you've got that buffer built in.
You got that cushion to
Yeah.
absorb some of those shocks.
Exactly. And that's where the index funds come in again, too, right?
Yep.
Because we're investing in this diversified basket of stocks.
Yeah.
We're not putting all of our eggs in one basket. So if one company or one sector struggles, the others can help to balance things out.
Right, exactly. It's like a built-in shock absorber for your portfolio.
I like that a lot. Okay, so we've got spending less, avoiding debt, investing, wisely cultivating the right mindset.
Yeah.
It's not just about the numbers. It's really about having a healthy relationship with money.
It is absolute. It's all connected, and that healthy relationship can lead to something truly amazing, which is financial freedom.
Yeah.
Collins calls it FU money. And it's not just about being rich. It's about having the power to make choices that align with your values, your passions, your dreams.
That's amazing, and that's what we all want, right? But let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
How do we actually put all of this into practice? Because it can feel a little bit overwhelming.
Right. I hear you. It can feel like a lot.
Yep.
So Collins provides some very specific, actionable steps you can take.
Okay, good.
So first, get your finances in order.
Okay.
Track your spending, create a budget, see where you can cut back. Maybe you can pack your lunch instead of buying it every day, or find some free activities to do. Instead of spending money on expensive outings, little changes can add up.
Yeah, they do. And then once you have a handle on your spending, you can start focusing on tackling any high-interest debt that you might have.
Exactly. Getting rid of that debt is huge. It's like freeing yourself from a major financial burden.
Totally. And then once you're debt-free, you can really ramp up your savings and start investing more aggressively.
That's the idea.
Okay, this is starting to feel a little bit more manageable, but investing still feels a bit daunting. Where do we even begin?
Remember those index funds we talked about?
Yeah.
That's your starting point.
Okay.
Collins recommends investing in a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds that tracks the overall market, and he specifically suggests Vanguard index funds
Okay.
because they have super low fees and a really long track record of solid performance.
So no need to try to pick individual stocks or become a Wall Street expert or anything like that.
Index funds are the simple, low-maintenance way to go. It's about being in the market for the long haul, riding out those ups and downs, and letting that compounding do its magic.
I love how this approach kind of takes the guesswork out of investing. It's like a set it and forget it strategy for building wealth.
It is, and that's the beauty of the simple path to wealth.
Yeah.
It's accessible, it's effective, and it can truly change your life.
Yeah.
It's not about getting rich quick or following some complicated scheme. It's about making smart choices consistently and letting time do its thing.
I'm so inspired. I feel like I'm ready to take control of my finances and start building my own path to wealth. I think that's a great place to pause for now.
I agree. We've covered a lot of ground in this part, from mindset shifts to practical steps for getting started. But there's still more to explore in the simple path to wealth, including some valuable insights on handling market volatility.
Oh, that's a big one. We'll be right back to dive into that and wrap up this incredible deep dive into the simple path to wealth. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the simple path to wealth. And we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
We've talked about mindset, spending, debt, investing. But there's this one big piece of the puzzle that we need to address, which is market volatility.
Right.
Let's be honest, the stock market can be a little bit of a roller coaster ride.
It can?
So how do we navigate those ups and downs without completely freaking out?
Yeah, this is where Collins' advice, I think, is really valuable because he doesn't sugarcoat things.
Yeah. He acknowledges that the market is going to fluctuate. It's going to have its good days and its bad days. He even compares it to like a wild beast that's prone to fits and tantrums.
Okay, that makes it feel a little less scary.
Yeah.
But still, when you see your investments drop,
Yeah.
it's hard not to feel that little twinge of panic.
It is. It is. And I think that's natural. But what Collins really emphasizes is the importance of keeping a long-term perspective.
Okay.
You're in this for the long haul.
Yeah.
These short-term dips and spikes are just noise.
Right.
They don't reflect the true value of your investments over time.
Right. It's about time in the market, not timing the market.
Exactly. And trying to time the market buying low, selling high is so difficult, even for the professional.
Okay, so long-term perspective, got it. But how do we actually do that? How do we stay the course when things are getting bumpy?
Well, remember that margin of safety we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
That can really help, because knowing you have that extra cushion can give you the confidence to ride out those market storms without making rash decisions.
Yeah, it's like that margin of safety gives you permission to not panic.
Yes.
When the market takes a dip.
It does.
You've got that buffer built in.
Right, you've got that backup plan.
And that's where the index funds come in again, too.
All right. Absolutely.
Because we're investing in this diversified basket of stocks.
Right.
So it's not like we're putting all of our eggs in one basket. If one company or one sector struggles, the others can balance things out.
Right. You've got that built-in diversification.
Yeah. Okay, so index funds, long-term perspective, margin of safety. These are all key for navigating market volatility. Is there anything else that we should keep in mind?
Yeah, I think Collins makes a really important point about accepting risk.
Okay.
Investing always involves some level of risk.
Yeah.
There's no way around it, but the potential rewards usually outweigh the risks, especially over the long run.
Right.
So it's not about avoiding risk altogether. It's about finding a balance that you're comfortable with.
So understanding the risks and managing them wisely.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm.
So I'm curious, what are some of the biggest takeaways that you've personally gotten from The Simple Path to Wealth? Like, what's really stuck with you?
Yeah, I would say for me, it's been the power of simplifying my approach to investing.
Okay.
I used to overthink things, trying to pick individual stocks or time the market.
hmm
But honestly, index funds just make so much sense. It's like a set it and forget it strategy that allows me to focus on other things in my life.
Yeah, it's liberating to just let go of that need to control everything and just trust the
Yeah,
process.
absolutely. What about you?
Um, I think for me, the concept of margin of safety has been really helpful.
Yeah.
Just knowing that I have that extra buffer,
Yeah.
that cushion to absorb unexpected expenses or market downturns just gives me a sense of peace of mind.
It does. It allows you to breathe easier
Yeah.
and make bolder choices.
Yeah, and I think that's what the simple path to wealth is all about, right? It's about creating this solid financial foundation that allows you to live a more intentional and fulfilling life. It's about using money as a tool to achieve your dreams, not letting it control you.
Beautifully said.
Oh, thanks. So it's been an amazing deep dive exploring all these concepts with you.
Yeah, it
I
has.
feel like we've just scratched the surface.
We have. There's so much wisdom packed into this book.
There is, and if you're feeling inspired to check it out for yourself, we have a link to the book down in the description. It's a resource that can truly transform your relationship with money and set you on a path to financial freedom.
It's a journey worth taking.
It is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you gained some valuable insights and you're feeling empowered to take control of your financial future. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep building the life you desire.
Until next time.